In a small town called Kato, there lived a 7-year-old girl named Sora. She was a beautiful little girl with a bright smile, but sadly she rarely smiled. Her home was not a happy place for her. Sora lived with her parents, Mr. Morpheus and Mrs. Kasha. Her father worked from home as a web designer, while her mother owned the biggest fabric shop in the city. Mrs. Kasha was always busy at her shop, spending most of her time there. She was so focused on making money and running her business that she hardly paid attention to what was happening at home. Because Mr. Morpheus stayed home most of the time, he spent a lot of time alone with Sora. But instead of protecting her and being a loving father, he treated her in a way no parent ever should. Sora was scared, confused, and deeply hurt by what was happening, but she didn't know how to explain it. She only knew she didn't feel safe with him. One day, while her mother was at home counting money, Sora gathered the courage to speak up. "Mommy," Sora said softly, her small hands trembling. "Why does Daddy hurt me when you're not here?" Her voice was so quiet, filled with fear. But her mother didn't even look up from her papers. "Sora, not now," Kasha said sharply. "Can't you see I'm busy? Go do your homework." Sora's heart sank. She tried again, hoping her mother would finally listen. "But Mommy," she whispered, tears in her eyes. Kasha snapped. "Sora, I said I'm busy. Stop making up silly things. Daddy works hard for us, and you're always complaining. Go to your room." The little girl stood there, heartbroken. She wanted to scream, to beg her mother to hear her, but she knew it was useless. Her mother never listened, never noticed her pain. Sora turned and walked back to her room, carrying a secret too heavy for her small shoulders. She felt completely alone. Days turned into weeks and Sora's pain grew. She wanted to tell someone, anyone, but fear kept her silent. Her father had warned her never to speak, and she was too scared to disobey him. Her mother continued to focus only on her shop, unaware of the nightmare her daughter was living through. To Sora, it felt like nobody in the world cared for her. One evening, Sora sat alone on the staircase, crying quietly. Her eyes were red and swollen from tears. She had tried again to talk to her mother earlier. "Mom, can I talk to you? It's about Daddy," she whispered, voice shaking. Kasha didn't even glance up from the pile of money she was counting. "What is it now, Sora? You're always complaining about something." Sora's heart pounded. She opened her mouth to tell her, but the words wouldn't come. They felt heavy, like they'd burn her throat. "I don't have time for this," Kasha said sharply. "You're just making up stories. Stop trying to cause trouble. Your father takes care of us." Sora's tears streamed down her face. "But Mom, please," she begged. "I said enough," Kasha yelled, slamming the table. "If you're not happy here, maybe you should leave. Stop being so dramatic. You just want attention." Sora froze, stunned by her mother's harsh words. She felt small, invisible, and hopeless. She walked away in silence, her heart breaking. No one was there to help her. Every day felt darker than the last. Her father, who was supposed to protect her, was hurting her. Her mother, who was supposed to love her, ignored her cries. Sora felt like she was trapped in a cage, with no way out and no one to turn to. She was just a little girl, but she carried pain far too big for her tiny heart. Sora had tried many times to tell her mother about the pain she was going through. She cried, she begged, but every time, her mother Kasha shut her down. No matter how much Sora pleaded, Kasha never believed her. The one person who was supposed to protect her couldn't see her pain. The next morning, Sora sat at the breakfast table, her eyes dull and lifeless. Kasha was already dressed for work, her bag full of receipts and cash. "Make sure you behave today, Sora," Kasha said, kissing her daughter's head absent-mindedly. She didn't even notice the tears in Sora's eyes. "I have to meet an important client." As soon as Kasha left the house, Mr. Morpheus's behavior changed. He looked at Sora in a way that made her skin crawl. He was a monster hiding in plain sight. Days turned into weeks, and the same painful routine continued. Sora kept trying to tell her mother, but Kasha was too consumed by her business. She would dismiss Sora's cries, calling her too sensitive or dramatic. "Don't you see how hard I'm working?" Kasha would say. "You're lucky you have a roof over your head. Stop making up stories." Eventually, Sora stopped trying. She stopped hoping her mother would listen. She grew quiet and withdrawn, her laughter fading away. She carried her pain in silence, feeling completely alone. One day, everything changed. Kasia came home early from work, something she almost never did, and what she saw shattered her world. She found her husband in Sora's room, doing the very thing Sora had tried so many times to warn her about. Kasia screamed and rushed to protect her daughter, finally understanding the truth Sora had been trying to share all along. She called the police, and Mr. Morpheus was arrested on the spot. When questioned, he tried to defend himself, blaming his wife for being too busy with her shop and claiming he was lonely. But his excuses couldn't justify the pain he had caused. Sora was taken to counseling, where she slowly began to heal from the trauma she had endured for so long. Kasia, overwhelmed with guilt, closed her shop and dedicated her life to caring for her daughter. She had learned the hard way that no amount of money or success could replace the love and attention a child needs. As for Mr. Morpheus, he was sentenced to life in prison, where he would spend the rest of his days. The lesson from this story is clear. Always listen when a child or loved one tries to tell you they are hurting. Dismissing their cries can cause unimaginable pain. Children need love, care, and protection more than anything else. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I hope it reminds you to be a kind and attentive parent, or even just a caring person. Don't be like Kasia, who was too busy to notice her daughter's pain. And don't be like Mr. Morpheus, who betrayed the trust of his own child. If you haven't subscribed yet, please join our growing family by clicking the subscribe button and turning on notifications so you never miss another story. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your continued support. If you're still listening right now, you're the real MVP. I truly appreciate you and don't take your support for granted. See you in my next story. Bye for now.